What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the JeffMan316 Customs YouTube channel, and welcome back to another movie review. In this video, I'm going to review the latest release, The Little Things. The Little Things stars Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, Jared Leto, and is directed by John Lee Hancock. And so after watching the movie, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. And I don't want to spoil too much, but I can't promise anything after I start discussing it. So before we do that, if you'll do some of the little things that you can do to help support me on YouTube, go ahead and like this video, give it the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to do more movie reviews in 2021, as you can see. And then after you subscribe to the channel, if you'll go ahead and hit the notification bell, you'll be the first to know when I post more movie reviews. So let's get into Denzel Washington's latest film, The Little Things. Let's go. So YouTube, like I said, I'm going to dig a little bit into the movie The Little Things. I'm going to try not to spoil too much. I won't dig into too much of what's going on, but I will read you a brief synopsis of the plot. It says, Kern County Deputy Sheriff Joe Deacon, which is played by Denzel Washington, is sent to Los Angeles for what should have been a quick evidence gathering assignment. Instead, he becomes embroiled in the search for a serial killer who is terrorizing the city. So Deke, as they call him, is played by Denzel Washington, is sent to gather some evidence back to the area where he used to be an important detective. He has since moved on from there. They dig into the reasons. It's like from most of the beginning of the movie, they want to hide from you the true reasons that he left. And so you obviously know that's going to filter into the story without, because they give you very few details as the movie goes until it gets to the ending, and I'll get into more of that later. But Denzel Washington plays that character, Joe Deacon. On paper, and just describing it, and just me seeing the trailer, I thought it sounded like a really amazing character, and something that, you know, on the surface could be pretty cool to see Denzel Washington dig into another detective role. I really loved his Equalizer character. I know it's not a detective, but he has to utilize those skills, you know, to solve things. But I really did like him as a detective in the movie Fallen, and I think that movie, I probably should review that later, because it is one of my favorite movies, and I think it tends to not get any attention, and I think it should. To me, that's a much better character than this one that Denzel plays. Rami Malek plays the character Jim Baxter, who actually in the story has taken over the spot that Deke used to have in the department, and you know, before he moved on to his new role, which, like I said, is a deputy sheriff now. Rami Malek tends to play kind of unique characters, quirky characters. You know, he's obviously got a quirky, unique look to him, but he usually is able to dig, you know, deeper into characters. This character, man, for him seems kind of flat, and almost feels like that he's a little bit miscast. And to me, there is literally like no chemistry between him and Denzel Washington. So that's a major issue, because I think if they picked a better actor that had meshed well with Denzel's character, that it might have helped the movie a little bit, or at least maybe overshadowed some of the weaknesses of the film. And then the final main character is Jared Leto, who plays a guy named Albert Sparma, who to me had the potential from his look. You know, it's almost like a Charles Manson type character. Not to that level, but you know, you don't know anything about his background. Maybe he did some dark things, and if he's this serial killer that they're tracking down, maybe he potentially, you know, could have been something on that level. But with that being said, I think he had a really the chance to make this character something great, and I think they wasted it. And I'll get into more of that later. But the character literally has no depth. If you know Jared Leto, he's a real method actor, and he likes to dig in the roles. So I'm pretty sure he did a lot more with this character than maybe we didn't see on the screen. Seems like maybe there's a lot of deleted footage somewhere, or maybe they just did not utilize him to the fullest at all. But I was really disappointed at that. So as I said, it's, you know, with it being a detective story, Denzel comes back into town. he's thinking that maybe this serial killer that's on the loose has something to do with the serial killer that he never tracked down when he was there before, years before. And so he kind of takes some time off from his current job as deputy in Kern County to come in and work with the police force to try to solve this crime and almost make like a redemption story, because you can tell that it really bothered him throughout the movie that he did not get to solve that crime, and he never moved on from it. It's like haunting him ever since, and it's really affected the decisions that he's made in life, all the way down from his home life to his professional life. So with that being said, let's talk about some of the good things, because it's not a total waste like you may be thinking that I feel, but there were a very few little things that were good about this movie. Obviously, Denzel was good, but I don't think he's at true Denzel level in this movie. He sits around almost like contemplating, looking, thinking all the time. Doesn't really have a lot of in-depth moments and situations in the movie where you can see the character. He doesn't expand upon it as much as I think he should have, and that's just limitations of the script or the screenplay, man. I think, like I said, if you get the drift of what I'm saying, is that there's a lot of missed opportunities here. The script had a few cool moments in there, but it's few and far between. Like the opening is really good. I thought it did a good job of building up some tension that just immediately, man, just goes off a cliff. And they lose everything that they built up. And the character that's in the opening scene that's getting kind of stalked, this female, she shows up later in the movie. And I think that scene felt like something out of Law and Order SVU to me. It didn't seem like anything that was well written for the big screen or the little screen, if you want to say it for now. So they had a wasted opportunity with the opening. I think there's some good moments written in there, some good cat and mouse moments later in the film between Denzel Washington and Jared Leto that I think should have been bigger and more expanded into those, and it might would have helped the movie. But the character that's played by Jared Leto, Sparma, to me is good. It's a good conceptual character that, like I said, they could have done more with it. There's chances it could have been a serial killer on the level of like or as bad and mentally controlling like a Jared Leto, because you see how he kind of controls the police force in this movie during some of the things he does. But man, they just didn't do enough with it. I mean, it was just flat. They had a couple good scenes with him. I mean, damn, I was watching this movie for almost an hour before you saw him. So with that being said, that even though this was a good looking like 90s gritty type drama on the surface, it just had a lot of wasted opportunities. So let's get into the bad, and it wasn't little things that were bad, it's the big things. Like I said, after that opening, and as I just hinted at, you had a great opening, and then I'm sitting there looking at my clock after almost an hour going, when the hell is something important going to happen in this movie? Is anything good going to happen? And then that's when you see Jared Leto's character lean over and look between a curtain that Denzel Washington was just looking through. So you go almost an hour before you even see that character. So they don't even tell you whether that was the same guy at the beginning, because they're not going to spoil who the serial killer is that early. But with that being said, the casting, man, could have been better. None of the side characters or the supplemental character actors that are in this, I've seen them in other stuff, but none of them are really, sometimes they steal the show. They seem flat. The dialogue is bad between them. There's just nothing good in piecing the main characters together, and it's almost like a struggle to get from one scene to the next. It seems to me like the screenwriter and the director, they knew the end game of how they were going to tie the main story of Denzel Washington's character with the main story of Jared Leto and Rami Malek, how they were going to take that old story and the new story, and they were going to combine them together for a twist ending, which kind of like has two types of twists to it. And that's all they cared about. So they made us wait 2 hours to get to the point of anything that they really cared about. The ending, once I saw where it was going, was too predictable. I kind of knew what was going to happen. So even that wasn't, didn't help me forget about the 2 hours that I'd wasted leading up to that. So with that being said, man, the slow burn of this movie, it's not enough good going on in it to justify such a slow burn like this. So without giving away too much, one of my last bad things, if you want to call it that, with this movie is the character Baxter, which is played by Rami Malek. He's supposed to be, you know, this top-notch detective that took over for, you know, Denzel Washington's character was supposed to be like super slick, the next great detective or whatever. He makes a decision toward the end of this movie that leads to the twist ending that is one of the stupidest decisions that I've ever seen a character make in the movie. I'm sitting there going, there is no way he would do this. I'm not going to spoil what happens. But when he does that, I'm basically sitting there the rest of the movie going, you got to be kidding me. This is a joke. It's ridiculous. Like I said, everything they were doing was just to get to that twist ending, and it was so unsatisfying. You could see it coming a mile away. You could see what Denzel Washington's character was going to do. As his part is his role in it, and I just didn't like it at all. And at the end of it, man, it almost made like the good guys in it seem just as bad as the supposed bad guy that they were chasing. There's not a lot of redeeming qualities for any of the characters in this movie. I almost felt bad for Jared Leto's character being in this movie and them not being able to do much more with him. So with that being said, this movie, it's going to get nothing but the rating that I give it of hot garbage. This is the biggest steaming pile of hot garbage that I've seen in a while, with the level of expectation that I had for the actors that are in it. So with that being said, what did you guys think of The Little Things? Are you like me and think that it could have been so much better and that these characters and these actors were wasted in this movie? If so, go ahead and do me a favor, do The Little Things. To support my channel, go ahead and like this video, give it the thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you can see more movie reviews when I do them. And just so you know, when I do those, hit the notification bell, because when you do that and click on that, you'll be the first to know when I post new movie reviews. So I really appreciate the support you guys have been giving me. So if you haven't seen it yet, I hope I didn't spoil too much, and I hope maybe I intrigued you to go check it out for yourself, so you can see whether you thought this was an on-fire movie or hot garbage. I don't see any way other than to say hot garbage. So with that being said, this is JeffMan316, your pop culture reporter, signing out saying, you guys be safe out there.